Hi, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sam.
And we're Envy Board Gaming. And today we're going to take a look at the card game 10. This is a push your luck auctioning card game. Is actually quite the surprise for me this year. This wasn't one I really thought about much, but let me show you how it's played and we'll come back and give you our final thoughts. 10 is a 1 to 5 player game designed by Molly Johnson, Sean Stonkwich, and Robert Melvin and published by AEG. This is a push your luck auction card game that plays in about 15 to 30 minutes. Let's see how it's played. So in 10, you are going to be pushing your luck and auctioning off cards and even being able to buy some cards from a market on your turn. All right. So what you're going to do is players are going to be drawing cards one at a time to add as many as they can without exceeding the number 10 total. All right. So you don't want the value to exceed 10 in the numbers that you are flipping over. All right. Or you would bust. Players get to push their luck to draw more cards and even use the currency to buy additional cards in their attempts, okay, to try and build these number sequences, because in the deck you're going to have numbers from 1 to 9 of different colors. Okay, so the cards that you're going to encounter are going to be these number cards. All right, you're also going to have these currency cards that is going to give you more currency to buy cards with, and then you're going to have these wild cards, which may be a specific number with any color that you can choose for it, or maybe it has a specific color and a wild number so that it can be any number between 1 and 9, or you might get the super rare one where it is any color and any number. Okay, and so let's just jump right in and show you a turn and how it is going to work. So if I was the active player, I would start by picking a card and flipping it over. Okay, I got a number card. The value is 5, so I don't have to worry about busting right now. I have to decide, do I want to continue to push my luck, or do I just want to take the reward? All right, so you know, what are the chances of me busting? Let's see what happens. So I'll flip the next card over, and now it's a currency card. Okay, so when you are doing the math of adding up, you would not add these two together because they are two different kinds of cards. You have your number cards and you have your currency cards. So these will actually be subtracted from your number value. So my value right now is 5. My currency here that I just pulled is 5. So I would subtract that from my number value, giving me 0. However, I also want to make sure that I don't exceed 10 with my currency. All right, so then you have to make sure that you don't bust on either of these categories. So let's say I continue to push my luck. I get a 6, right? We already did 5 minus 5. Now we have the plus 6, so I'm up to 6 now, and my currency is still at 5, so I have not busted. All right, then let's say I continue to go, and I get a wild. All right, so whenever you flip a wild over, you are going to essentially pause your turn to auction off this card. And starting with the player to the left and going around the table, including the active player, every single player is going to have an opportunity to either bid on this card or pass. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be bidding these little currency tokens. All right. And after everybody's had a chance to bid or pass, then the player who bid the highest is going to spend their currency tokens and take that wild card and add it to their player area. All right. And then you will resume your turn. So then let's say I keep going and I get this 1. So now I'm up to 7 and 5 for currency. So no worries about busting yet. And then I draw a 4, right? So I was at 7. Now I subtract the 3 or the 4 and I'm down to 3. All right. So now I have to worry. I'm at 9 currency, even though I'm only at 9 for the card values. Okay. So I can decide to stop and take my reward if I'm worried I'm going to bust. And there's 2 things that I can take here when I take my reward. I can either take the card values, which means I would take all 3 of these and I would put them in my player area, right? I would get all 3 cards And if I did that, then my opponents would get the currency. So even though I got these 3 cards, my opponents would get 9 currency, okay? Or I can choose to take the currency cards. So I would get the 9 currency cards, and then these cards that were not taken are going to get added to a market to possibly be purchased later, all right? Now, to be able to purchase a card, you would have to take the reward for the numbers. You cannot take the currency reward and then be able to purchase a card. Okay, so you would only get a buy phase if you take the numbered cards. Okay, so those are the kind of decisions you're going to be making on what kind of reward you want to get, and kind of weighing that pro or con, because maybe I don't want my opponents to have that currency. So that's going to have some really thinky decisions there. But let's say I wanted to keep going. I don't know why I would want to continue to push my luck, but let's say I keep pushing my luck. Well, I'd have to auction that one off. And then I got this and I busted, right? Because it would be, the 7, it was down to 3 because we subtracted the 9, right? 3 plus 8 is 11. That's over 10. I bust, okay? So once I bust, if I bust with the numbers, right, I would get a bust token, and this is worth 3 of these currency tokens. However, these cannot be exchanged out, all right? So you cannot trade 3 of these in for a bust token, and you cannot trade this in for 3 of the black currency tokens, okay? So if you ever overspend in the buy phase, you don't get any change back, just so you know, all right? But let's say I bust. I take this white token, the bust token. All of these cards would get added to the market, and my opponents would still get the currency, okay? Now, if I bust with the currency, I don't have to worry about my opponents getting them. The cards just go in the market, and that's it, all right? And that's what you're going to keep doing, going around and around and around the table. But let's say I also, just for sake of teaching, we get the buy phase. So let's say I did stop. I took these cards, right, in my hands. I had this currency, and let's say I had a few cards out here in the market, right? Let's hopefully find a card. Nope, not a currency card. Let's see, I got a lot of green apparently. All right, let's say these cards were in the market, all right? I would then be able to buy a card from the market. And depending on which card I purchase, the number is going to determine the value that I have to spend in currency. So in this case, I would only have enough in order to purchase this 4 green. However, now I have a 4 and a 5 green, and maybe later on in the game, I'll be able to purchase the 6. And I'm going to be growing this sequence of numbers, because at the end of the game, you are going to get points for each color and however many numbers are in that sequence. So if I had 8, I would get 8 points in that sequence. However, if I was able to get all 9, I would get 1 point for each, giving me 9 points. But then I would get a bonus point for having completed the full sequence of 1 through 9. All right? And you're going to do that for every single color. And every player is going to add up their points at the end of the game after the deck has completely run out. All right? And you don't have to place any wilds that you get right away. You can save them until the end to add to your sequences in case you want to move them around to score better. Okay? So you're going to get 1 point for each card in your longest sequence of numbers for each color. Okay? Again, if you have all 9, you will have a bonus point, so you will get 10 points. Okay? And then whoever has the highest score is going to win the game. And if there is a tie, then the player with the most remaining currency is going to be the winner of the game. And that's how you play 10. All right, so that was 10. So let's first I'm just gonna come out and say this was not a game that was really on my radar at all. Not something that I anticipated being something that I would be excited to play or interested to play. Didn't honestly even know anything about it until probably a couple months ago. at Gen Con because this was a game that was a part of their big game night Kickstarter they ran, and then they had the big game night event at Gen Con, and this was one of the games that people got when they attended the event. And so this was, once I heard about it and kind of looked into it a little bit, it was an interesting concept that it was, I mean, the only thing you have are those little tokens that are your currency, and then you have the deck of cards. And it was interesting because you have Push Your Luck, which I think we enjoy, but then you also have this auction in a pretty small box. And so it had a lot that it was trying to fill, and so I was very interested once I heard about those mechanics in the game. And so I would have to say that I was pleasantly surprised when playing this game.
Yeah, me too,
I liked it more than I thought I was going to. So I'll just jump right into my positive of this. I think, for one, this is, when it comes to a small card game, this is a game that I could play and enjoy as much as Point Salad. I haven't played it a ton because, you know, we've played it some, but I would like to play it a little bit more before I kind of, because I really do like Point Salad.
Yeah,
but this is a little card game that I would play quite a bit, and I would put up there with Point Salad. And I know that is a pretty liked game. The components are super nice. Like, it's just cards and the little tokens, or the little, I don't even know what you want to call them, currencies.
Yeah.
But the art on the cards are nice, and it's those linen finish cards. They feel really great in your hand. They're great quality. You can line up the different numbers and then create this nice little. It's not like a real picture, but it's got just that nice look on it. Like, everything looks beautiful when you're playing the game, and I feel relaxed when I'm playing it.
Yeah,
this probably could have made like my top 10 relaxing games, but it was just not one that I had really played enough. But it could if I play it some more. But it is a really, really interesting game that has that, ooh, do I push my luck and try to get the cards, or do I want currency? And then you have the market. I want to be able to get a buy.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I'm always worried to not take the currency because then my opponents get the currency. And I like that meaty decision making. And it was really, really intriguing. And so I thought the mechanics really worked out really easily. I thought it was pretty streamlined. It wasn't really too hard to understand.
No.
You just have to understand the different kinds of cards. And yes, there's a little bit of math there. I think that's the most complicated part. Like, okay, I add the numbers together and then I subtract the currency. And I can't go over 10 with the numbers, but then I also can't go over 10 with the currency. And so it could get a little bit maybe confusing to some people that might not like the math portion in games, but I didn't mind that at all. So overall, I really did like a lot of this game, and I was pleasantly surprised about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I was too, actually. I mean, when he brought it home, I was like, what is this? You know, and playing it, I think it did exceed my expectations.
Yeah. It was a review copy that we had gotten from AEG. And so it was, you know, we knew it was when they had said, hey, we're sending you a package, and it had it in there. I was like, okay, interesting. It'll be fun. We'll see what we think of it, you know?
Right.
What about negatives? What do you think? Any negatives for you?
Not really. I think like you said, the math part might be kind of, I'm not a math person, so that maybe like that's the only thing, but to me, that didn't seem to be too much for the game. I did love, I have to talk about my positives.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
My bad.
That was you.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but I do agree with pretty much everything you said. But
Right.
the artwork was what caught my eye, because I'm like, ooh, this is like rainbow. This is like super cool colors. And I think with it being a card game, typically it's not that like visually like, ooh, like this is a cool looking game. So if I am playing a card game and it's very basic, like cool artwork on cards catches my eye.
Right.
I like this game too because I sometimes, you know, think about like, okay, what's a good game that we could travel with that is not big and bulky and heavy and whatnot, and like what would be like a point salad is one you could like travel with and stuff. But
Right.
this to me, 10 is on the same level as point salad, and that's one that you could take with you.
Right.
And I think that is a good thing. Like we need games like that we can take with us to travel. And I kind of think about that, in terms of my job and like, playing games with kids and, doing therapy with them and having to have games that are small enough to be able to travel with. Like that's important to me. And I had thought about that, like what if we go on a weekend trip or we go somewhere, like what's a game that we can take with us? And this would be one that I would want to take because, and it's easy to set up. It's not too complex or anything. Like
you can see there's not really much in the teach video. I mean, it's just a deck of cards and the pool of currency.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would say the artwork is nice. I love that it's easy. You take it with you. Easy to learn. I felt like it was relaxing too, actually.
Right. And you don't like math.
No.
But you enjoy it.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it, and I think we played it like after I got done like doing laundry or something, and like that's obviously not something fun to do, but we sat down and played it, and I was like, oh, like I did feel relaxed playing it.
Right.
And I do like games like that. So I would say, yeah, those are all my positives. I really don't have anything negative to say besides, like, yeah, there is some math in it, which,
Right.
I mean,
Right. I think one of the negatives that I have is that, so with the auction, I almost wish, I know it would drag the game out, but I almost wish that you would keep going because everybody gets one chance to bid. So it's either you bid or you don't bid. And if somebody outbids you, you lose. I would almost like it to be able to continue to go around. Maybe give everybody 2 chances to bid.
Oh, okay.
Or just go until people pass. Just how badly does somebody want that? Because, if you grossly underpay for it, or somebody grossly underpays for it, I mean, they're getting a really good card for a cheap price. But I think, with some of those wilds, like, you're going to be spending a ton. And so I think I would like to see maybe a little bit more in that auction area. I felt like there was some good auctions, but I just wanted a little bit more tension of, oh, I'm going to give 2. Well, I'm going to give 3. Well, I'm going to give 4. Oh, man. Oh, do I want to go up to 5, And if everybody only has one chance to kind of do that, it's just like, oh, you outbid me, I lose kind of thing. When I like that whole going back and forth in an auction. I really like the push your luck, but I'm talking about negatives. I almost went back to positives. That's how much I like the positives.
You circled around.
Right. So I think that's one thing I would like to see more of in the auction. And then, the math really isn't that big of a deal, but I can see how it could be for some people. Some people really don't like it, and they're like, I don't want to, have to do that, and it might slow the game down for you, kind of thing. So that would be my only real negative for the game. So let's talk about our rating for 10. Are you going to give 10 a 10?
I'm going to give 10 a 10.
No, you're not.
I'm just kidding.
I'm
kidding. I'm kidding. I just had to say it just because.
Right.
I honestly think this is kind of tough, but I'm trying to compare it to like point salad, and
well, it's not. And I know we bring up point salad, but it's not.
But
it's nothing like point salad. It's nothing. It's not like mechanically. It's nothing like point salad. It just is. It's a card game that is super fun.
But like the rating, I'm trying to think of like where it would fall, rating wise for me.
Oh, okay.
Because point salad is a card game, and it is, like I really like point salad. So I'd probably give it, I think, a 6.5.
6.5? Okay. For me, I definitely am giving this a 7 as of right now. I think the only reason it's not a little bit higher is because I would like to see a little bit more auctioning in the game, but I really enjoyed it. It was a pleasant surprise. This is one that I would like to teach to more people, and it looks so nice. I love the feel of those cards in my hand. And it's such a well done game. So kudos to AEG and the design team. You guys did a great job on it. definitely one that I wasn't expecting much from, and I really, really did enjoy it. So yeah, so that would be a 7 for me. All right, so that's our thoughts on 10. Let us know what you think. Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the little bell icon so you get a notification every single time we post a video. And let us know what some of your favorite card games to travel with. You know, what are some other games that you like 10? That you like. I've said like 15 times now.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Let us know what you take with you when you're traveling.
What are some good travel
Because we're going to
games?
be going to Disney. Probably by the time this posts, we'll be in Disney World.
Yeah.
And so we are probably going to take a couple little games, and 10 will be on that list. So let us know what kind of games you guys travel with. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
See ya.